The Red Rosary by William J. Wintle. The circumstances surrounding the mysterious fate of Dr. David Wells have never hitherto been made public, and this is easy to explain. Not only were they terrible in themselves, but they involved so much that is abnormal and almost incredible that the telling of the story demands some courage. Few men care to have the reputation of being accomplished liars, while still few wish to be regarded as superstitious and credulous. To ask the average person to believe the facts about the tragedy of Dr. Wells is to make a considerable demand upon his trust in the narrator's veracity. But the prevalence of rumours reflecting on the character of the unfortunate man, and in particular the theory of suicide that has been proposed in certain quarters, seemed to render it necessary that the truth should no longer be withheld. All who knew the late doctor were familiar with his large and valuable collection of curiosities from all quarters of the world. In fact, he was a born collector, and his hobby consumed most of his time and a considerable portion of his fortune. His sympathies were large, and he took an interest in many branches of both art and science, but his special subject was anthropology, and in particular that branch of it which deals with the origins and development of religious belief and practice among the more uncivilized races of mankind. In this connection, he indulged a fancy, for he hardly claimed it to be anything more, that possibly there might be some glimmering of a religious sense among the higher and more rational animals apart from man. In certain of the more obscure forms of nature worship, he fancied that he had found traces of a connection between non-human life and certain occult phenomena. In particular, he thought that the hostility with which mankind regarded the serpent tribe was a mutual one, and had its source in something that lay beneath the surface. Thus, as a collector, he specialized in articles of uncivilized human workmanship, and chiefly in those connected with primitive forms of worship. His collection of fetishes from Africa and the South Sea Islands was unrivaled. He possessed articles connected with Tibetan Lamaism that no public museum had been able to obtain, while the section devoted to serpent worship was the envy of every specialist and was his greatest pride. There were few rooms in his house that did not contain examples of his hobby, and nervous visitors did not altogether relish having to spend the night in company with some of his more fearsome idols. But the gems of his collection were housed in...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?